Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of my podcast, The 4 a.m. Talks. You know what? Today it's been a really cold day here in Bangalore, and I'm back with yet another episode, and I'm really super happy. How are you guys doing? You're doing good, and that's awesome to hear. If it's not, it's only going to get better. Don't worry. I really wanted to thank you because you keep tuning in to our podcast, to this YouTube channel, with the hope of getting some value. And I really appreciate that. I'm so grateful for that. Thank you very much. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about something that's really important. That's really important in the sense it's going to make a significant impact in your life. You may ask me, what is it? What is that you're going to tell me in this episode? You got to wait on because I'm going to reveal it in some time. Before I do that, I'm going to tell you a story that will lead up to that most important thing. So let's get right into it. Imagine John Carpenter. He's just like you guys. He's having these big dreams. You know what his big dream is? He wanted to be the biggest, the greatest cricketer of all time, not only in his generation, but all time. You know what happens? He starts practicing as he goes on and represents the international level. What happens there is really interesting. He's not making an impact that he wants to make. He's getting out. He's getting out cheaply. He goes back. The media writes, this is the start of a young man who's trying to do his best, but he's not there. The next match he goes in, tries his best. He's not able to contribute a big score to his team. He falls short, goes back. The next match he comes again. He is unlucky because he gets run out before he faces a single ball. That's terrifying. That's disappointing. That is what is called unlucky. He is very unlucky. He goes back and he sits down and he starts to realize what he has done wrong, what is happening to him. He is able to, score really well in the, national championship matches, but not so good in the international level. He has performed really well in Ranji Trophy and other zone matches. But why is he not able to do that? He understood that there is one thing that is required for him to become the greatest of all time. And that is obsessiveness. I remember this beautiful quote said by Kobe Bryant in one of the interviews. He says, the one which separates good from the great from the legends, is obsessiveness. Are you willing to go to the extreme? What do I mean by that? I simply mean that you need to go long in your professional career if you want to become one of the best or the greatest in that particular field. You may ask me, what do you mean by going long? It means that you need to understand your craft. It is different for different people. I get it. But whatever the field you may be in, but you need to understand that you need to go long. Meaning, imagine, for we'll get back to this story. Sean Carpenter wanted to become one of the best or the greatest cricketer of all time. What should he be doing? He starts to understand what the game really means. He understood that it's not good enough of whatever the skills that he had in the national or the zone matches to become one of the greatest or the greatest of all time in the international matches, because everyone out there, most of them who's competing with them, are also having that same mindset. Now he has to go to that extreme. What is that extreme? What is that extremeness? That is, you need to study the game a lot more. He needs to, try to look at things. Let's say, if he looks back, how he got out, maybe he's maybe having the vulnerability of not having too many shots in his book. And he's hitting good shots, but it is going straight to the fielder. A good shot for no run. It's terrible. It's not a good feeling. So he understood that he needs to have a variety of shots just to improve his game, so that the next time he has this opportunity, imagine if he wants to just drive the ball. There's already a point, cover fielder there protecting. If he has an alternative one where the fielder is not there, he could get it over there and he could score runs. So in that way, he's trying to improvise his game, and he's trying to get better at the craft and going to the extreme. So this doesn't only get him to the one of the greatest players of all time. What he does is he understands that there are people like him who's willing to go to that extreme, who wanted to become the best players of all time. He goes up to them and asks them what did they do? How did they approach things? What is the detail that they are having? And he also studies the game. He asks specific questions. This is very important, very specific. This match happened there. At this time, you didn't give up. You tried your best and you have won the match. What was the exact feeling you felt there? And why? So, in this way, what he's trying to do is he's trying to learn and learn and learn. And that learning is eventually make him to become one of the best players of all the time. At first, you know what people will say? The media will say, John Carpenter is not good enough. After some time, they're going to say, John Carpenter is reasonably good. After some time, they're going to say, he's a good player. He's good. After some time, they're going to say, he's eventually got the potential to become one of the greats. After some time, they're going to say, he is one of the greatest batsmen of all time. And then there will be one day where the whole world will accept that he is the greatest batsman of all time, the greatest cricketer of all time. But this will happen as you keep learning and have that obsessive to go to the extreme. It's very important to know that you need to understand that you need to have that obsessiveness. You need to have that. There is no way out. That, cricket for John Carpenter, it's all about cricket. Whatever he did, he reads magazines, he reads about cricketers. He reads books, he reads about the cricketers who have done really well. He reads those books. Watches TV, watches a cricket match. So, what I'm trying to say? John is doing everything possible to become the best cricket player of all time. He's constantly learning, constantly getting information why he did that. He'll go to that specific player and ask him why he did that. He could have played the other way, but why did he do that? And talking about extreme, I wanted to talk about a key thing, and I'm going to give you an example which will make you understand. As I'm talking about cricket, I wanted to give you an example in the similar field. There's this 2000 World Cup that happened in India. It happened in three nations: India, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. India did really well. They were playing against West Indies. You know what happened? They were going along really nicely. It happened in Chennai, Chepauk. Crowd was backing India. And of course, they respect good cricket. Chennai crowd really, they appreciate good cricket. So they were supporting good cricket from West Indies as well, but they were backing India as that is their home team. Things were going really well, but you know what happened? Yuvraj Singh was vomiting blood in the middle. The umpires were really scared, as well as the West Indies players and whole of the nation of India as well who's watching the game. He's vomiting blood in the middle. Umpires, asked him. They went up to him and told him, "This is the time that you need to go to the dressing room and make sure that you get treated." Yuvraj Singh just said that he's not going anywhere. He should be there in that moment, in that field, because he felt those things doesn't matter really. The key important thing is he staying there for India. You know what he did? He scored a massive 100 and India won. That 100 will remain forever. Not only because he scored 100, but look at his obsessiveness. He's willing to go to the extreme. He is understanding that nothing else is important than him staying there in that crease and scoring that important runs India requires. He went on and became the man of the series of the World Cup 2011. Later, he was diagnosed for cancer. Imagine he's able to tolerate that kind of a pain in the middle of a World Cup match. Just imagine. And still, he didn't give up. He had that obsessiveness to go to the extreme. These are the things that we should learn. If we are watching a sport, it's the greatest metaphor for life. You're learning, you're taking lessons from that. It took a long time. People written him off. They said there is very less probability that he's going to come back to the Indian team, but he did that. That is Yuvraj Singh for you. That is the greatest player of all time. He is trying to become the best of version of himself. Who knows if he had given up at that point where West Indies would have gained that momentum, a new batsman would have come in, and who knows, India would have lost, and most probably wouldn't have qualified for the semis. Who knows? See, that is obsessiveness for you. We are learning. You, me, everyone, learning. But it shouldn't stop there. We, in our field, we should try to become that, have that obsessiveness wired around. That is the most important thing. And one more thing. It is, there are only few people, who are going to the extreme. Why do I say that? It is because it may not be the number one priority for everyone. For you, it could be other things. It could be family. It is not wrong, but it's a choice. It's a choice. You have to make that choice. But if you are making a choice to become obsessive, stick to it. If you are thinking the other way around, stick to it. But if you're willing to try, good. You're getting better. That's good for you. But you need to remember it's a choice. It is the most important thing. You may have determination. You may have that work ethic around with you. You may have that, passion. But the thing is, you need to be obsessive as well. This comes in as well. It's really key, and that will make your life more meaningful. It will give a significant impact in your life, and it will change your life for sure if you're willing to go to the extreme. So I wanted to ask you a question. What are the key areas of interest for you? Is it painting? Is it reading? Is it writing? Are you willing to go to the extreme and try to understand the craft? What you're doing is, you're everyone has talent. Everyone has talent. With obsessiveness, you know what happens? The maximize talent that you have can be bought in and the world can see. The true potential talent is there, but how will you maximize it? Obsession is one of the key to make sure that your talent is maximized and the whole world gets to see along with you. That is the obsession for you. So I'm going to ask you a question. How obsessed are you? You may go back and reflect, and you may ask yourself, what is the obsession factor that I have? What is the key thing that I have? Am I willing to go to the extreme? If yes, write it down. Plan. Put actions on it. And try. If you do that 10, 20, 30 years, what the media said to John Carpenter, that he's one of the greatest, the media isn't important. John Carpenter himself knows that he's right up there. It's not about the media in the bigger picture. It's not about the people at the bigger picture. It's about you knowing yourself that you have done significantly great in the area of interest that you are committed to, and you did your best to make sure that you are up to it. So in the similar way, you will have that feeling. That is a fantastic feeling. Just think about it. And also make sure that you are around with obsessors. That is really important. Because what it will do is, it will, you will learn from someone and you will watch them closely of what they are doing. Yes, you're watching great people, watching on TV, reading the books, reading the magazine and trying to understand. It is fine. But if you're having someone who's having that same mentality of being obsessive, try to stick with them and see how they go about it. You will learn a lot more. And you will be more obsessed and more obsessive with the field that you're trying to do your best. So, by the end of this episode, I just wanted you to go back and reflect on why you're so obsessed with the field that you're interested in. If you're not, try to become obsessive. That is really important as well. Trying is not a bad thing. Once you try, you would definitely, go to a level where you never thought you would go. So with that being said, have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.